All right, so we're going to be looking at median. Median sounds like middle. As a matter of fact, median is the number in the middle. Last week we talked about mean or average. Now we're going to be talking about the median, which is the number in the middle. So, all right, let's take a look at an example. Here are numbers. So it says find the median for each data set. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to put my numbers in order. On question number 1, I noticed that the smallest number is 3. And I happen to have 4 of them. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me do right 4 threes. All right, after 3, the second smallest number is 5. And I happen to have 2 of them. You guys see there's 2 of them. So after 5, it's 6. And I happen to have 2 of them as well. After 6, the second smallest is 9. So I'm just writing them in order from small to large. After 9, it's 11. Only have it once. Then 12, but I have 3 of them. So I'm going to write 3 of them. Then is 13. And lastly is 15. So all I did for median, all I did was I put my numbers in order. Now, let me see how many numbers I have. I can easily count how many numbers I have. It's a list of numbers. Just count how many numbers. I happen to count 15. Now, 15 is not an even number. I cannot divide this by 2. So what I'm going to do, let me subtract 1. If my number is not even, I'm going to subtract 1. So that gives me 14, just to make it even. And the reason why I want to make it even, because I want to divide this by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So I'm going to make a line that separates my numbers. I want 7 numbers on each side of my line. So let me go through this number, and I should have 7 numbers on each side of my line. Notice how I went through a 6. That tells me that my median, in this case, it's 6. It's the number I went through. All right, let's take a look at another example. Let's take a look at question number 2. I'm going to put my numbers in order from small to large. I just put them in order. Let me count how many numbers I have. I happen to have 16 of them. Now, 16 is an even number because 16 divided by 2 is 8. All right, now that I have the number 8, I'm going to draw a line that puts 8 numbers on each side of my line. So let me happen to draw this line. Now, I don't go in between 2 numbers. I don't go through a number. I go in between 2 of them. So what I'm going to do in this case, let me get the average of those 2 numbers. So for me to find the median, because in this case, I don't go in through a number, let me add the 2 numbers that I go in between them. So 5,054 plus 15,586. Let me divide it by 2. I'm getting the average of those 2 numbers. I happen to get my answer is 10,320. If I go through a number, like question number 1, if I go through a number, that's the median. Now, if I don't go through a number, like question number 2, get the average of the 2 numbers in the center. All right, let's take a look at another example. First, let me start by writing my numbers in order. All right, so I'm finding the median in this case. Let me count how many numbers I have. Happen to have 17 of them. Now 17 is not an even number, so let me subtract the 1 to make it even. 17 minus 1 is 16, divided by 2 is 8. So I'm going to make a line such that I have 8 numbers on each side of my line. So I happen to have that line. My line actually went through a numbered, so my median is that number. My median in this case is 6. Let's take a look at example number 4. Let me get my numbers. All right, I'm figuring out the median in this case. I wrote my numbers from small to large. Let me count how many numbers I have. I happen to have 14. 14 is an even number. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So I'm going to make a line such that I have 7 numbers on each side of my line. You notice I have 7 numbers on each side of my line. Now, my line did not go through a number. It goes in between 2 numbers. So I'm going to be looking at these 2 numbers where it goes in between, and I'm going to find the average of those 2 numbers. So I'm just going to add those 2 numbers and then divide it by 2. All right, 15 plus 15 is 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So my median in this case is 15.